innovation used to make me cringe, not because of the process, but because it reminded me of boring meetings, dull facilitators, and confusing charts. On top of that, I felt an increased pressure to change what was already working right. When I first learned of the opportunity to audition for this conference, I immediately started preparing. About a week into my preparation, I had this really brilliant idea that I should look up the guidelines for this conference. You can imagine my surprise when I discovered it was on innovation. But such is life, and here I am. Throughout my innovation research, I looked up a few things. So I want you to take a minute, and by minute, I really mean like 5 seconds, to think of an innovative product. Ready? Go. Okay. Did you think of things like the iPad and the cell phone? Speaking of which, I really am glad they innovated that. I cannot imagine still having to carry around my cell phone in a bag. I mean, I already have a lunch bag, a book bag, a laptop bag, a purse bag, and to have to add cell phone bag to that would just be really frustrating. Another innovative product worth mentioning is the tow plow. Now this is really cool because it actually plows 2 lanes of snow at the same time. I've seen it in action once and I was in awe. After I had looked up the innovative products, I spent some time researching the innovative companies. According to the Boston Consulting Group, for the year 2013, the top 3 innovative companies were Apple, Samsung, and Google. That wasn't too surprising because we do live in a technology-oriented society. So after I looked up the products and the companies, I spent some time looking up innovative people. Well, it turns out that no such list exists that actually agrees with who I thought the innovative people are. So I made my own list. For number 1, I chose Disney. For number 2, I chose Einstein. And for number 3, I chose myself. Now, I know you're wondering, if innovation used to make me cringe, how can I consider myself a top innovator? Well, to innovate means to make changes or to do something in a new way. And if you can innovate electronics, even cigarettes, and the way you plow snow, then you can certainly innovate your thoughts. And I am a thought innovator. The mind is a beautiful thing, but sometimes the thoughts that come out of it aren't so pretty. They can be dark and scary, troubled and sad, hurt and angered. These type of thoughts can completely stop you in your tracks. And when they do, you are still expected to be this magnificent Superman and Superwoman, even a super employee. Off and on throughout last year, I had been dealing with gloom. Some of the things weren't so bad, while others left me feeling as if I was standing on top of the world to actually having to carry it. In addition to things that happened just last year, throughout my life, I've dealt with poverty, sickness, divorce, and even homelessness. Now, all of these negative things I refer to as my lemons, just because they're really bitter and sour. One of the lemons that I've always dealt with is the absence of my father. It was an area where one of my uncles had stepped in, and unfortunately, on December 10th, he passed away. Literally hours after he passed away, I found out that another family member had been admitted to the hospital and was in ICU. My world was rocked. There were times when I thought I was losing my mind. I would go from laughing to crying in a matter of seconds. Now, gloom is particularly difficult for me because I'm usually a happy person. I like to laugh and dance, and if I'm not doing those things, people know something is wrong. Staying positive is critical for me because I need to stay positive in order to do things like write creatively or manage empowering campaigns or write TEDx talks. So to get back to my original state of mind, I have to be extremely deliberate and intentional on innovating my thoughts on a daily, if not hourly, basis. And this is something that we all have to do because crises, no matter the size, they are inevitable. So I have brought along 5 of my tips to help you jumpstart the process to innovating your thoughts during your troubling times. So make sure you get out a pen or paper or pull out your electronic to take down some notes. They will be life-altering. Number 1, sing loudly. I told you they were life-altering. Okay. Singing loudly is important for me because I can't sing and I have a tiny voice. So when I try and hit those Mariah Carey notes, it really sounds bad. But that's okay because next thing I know, I've brought joy back into my life because I'm laughing at how bad I sound. Number 2, attend happy hour. This is not the happy hour that includes me, my couch, and a bottle of wine. That's a totally different happy hour. This is the happy hour where I take 1 hour to do something that I enjoy. Now, whether that is riding a bike, going for a run, or even playing a video game with my daughter, I just take 1 hour. Number 3, counseling. Now, I know counseling can sometimes carry a negative stigma, but I like to think of it this way. Where else can you go where you can speak candidly about yourself or someone or something else that has really been grinding your gears lately? But if you're not ready for external counseling, you can always try internal counseling, which is as simple as writing in a diary or a journal, whichever you like to call it. Number 4, go for a drive. Now, I don't do this during rush hour because I find rush hour extremely frustrating. But just like driving can calm a baby, it can also have a very calming effect on adults. And number 5, clean out your closet. Now, not to be taken literally because I don't enjoy throwing out my really old stinky shoes. This is the closet space in your mind where you have stored every bad thing that has ever happened to you. Take the time to deal with it so that you can make room for the happier moments. Now that you've heard these life-altering tips, you see that it's not necessarily the tips that are difficult, it's overcoming that negative mindset. So when you're being hit with lemons, just like Newton was hit with that apple, turn it into something great by innovating your thoughts. Thank you.